as a nutritionist, and because I have a neurodivergent child, I have decided that I support neurodivergent children using nutrition. So nutrition is my superpower. I'm a holistic nutritionist, a public health practitioner. So nutrition is my own superpower. So today I got lots of questions yesterday. Some parents were asking, is this food good for neurodivergent children? Is this food not good for neurodivergent children? So today I kind of decided to talk about nutrition. I decided to talk about the kind of foods that supports neurodivergent children, knowing that they have a lot of physiological peculiarities. So many things are peculiar to them. They don't react to things that like every other person does, and that is why it is called neurodivergent. It's not probably their choice, or they are just like every other person. Divergence there is like, yes, this is how it happens, but this is not how my own happens. So many times the message we try to pass is try to see them as being like more or less like you, but a bit different. So many of adults that are neurodivergent tend to say, I am not disabled, I am just different. Yes, these people, these children, these adolescents that eventually become adults, everybody that are even adults without probably a diagnosis, this person is just different. And then the difference is mostly in the way they express themselves. It's mostly in the way they manage their emotions. It's mostly in the way that their body works. It's not as if they are monsters or they will come and eat you. Like a lot of people used to feel that even if you come close to these children, they will harm you. I remember once a fellow parent was asking my child's facilitator, are you still following around this girl? And then the facilitator was like, yeah, why? He said, are you married? I said, what? I'm not married. I said, really? The woman said, really? You are not married and you're following this Ogbanje around. What if you give birth to this type of child? And the facilitator was taken aback. Why would any mother think that? Why would any parent think that some other person's child is evil? That because the facilitator is following the child around, the facilitator will end up having a child will end up having a neurodivergent child. So at the end of the day, we are not just looking at helping, the community to get better. We are also looking at helping those that are not neurodivergent to appreciate what it means to be neurodivergent. Number one way you can appreciate this is that what you think they don't feel, they do feel it. Know it today. They feel that thing you think they don't feel. If you think that because a child is on the autism spectrum, he doesn't know that you don't like him. In fact, just today I was discussing with a friend, I said, these children, they have like sixth sense. The little things you do not even feel as a neurotypical person, these children feel it. They feel when you are not happy with them. They feel when you don't like them. They feel when you are just doing eye service on them. They feel every bit of emotions that all of us feel. Now I'm talking about when they are teenagers. They feel love. Yeah, they feel, the kind of romantic kind of love. And do you know what happens is that when they want to express it, they express it in a way that a lot of people do not want to have. A lot of people feel uncomfortable with the way they express their feelings. So that is why we continue to say these children are not necessarily disabled, they are just differently abled. So if you see a neurodivergent child tomorrow, if you see a neurodivergent adolescent tomorrow, if you see a neurodivergent adult tomorrow, just understand that whatever you feel, they also do feel. The only difference is that you can put yours in perspectives, like, okay, this is a mall. I cannot just walk up to somebody and start grabbing them. No, these children may not understand that. They know that, yeah, I like someone, I can hug the person, or I don't like somebody, this person must not come close to me. And then the neurodivergent population kind of reads it differently. So That having said, I am also now talking about what happens about their nutrition. What is this about their diet that is so different? Just like they are emotionally different, they are psychologically different. Please understand today they are also nutritionally different. Nutritionally different does not mean that they eat things from the moon or they eat things from the space. What it means is that there are things they might require more than, the neurotypical people in terms of their diet. So today we are discussing what are the top 10 nutrients for attention deficit hyperactivity disorder. We call them ADHD. A lot of people have ADHD. They may not know it, they may know it, but I bet you those that do not know it are more than those that know it. Why? Because even in advanced world, you have to wait for years to get diagnosis, right? And as long as you can speak, as long as you can walk, as long as you can go to school, as long as you can go for shopping, a lot of times it is assumed you don't have any issues. So, but a lot of adults find it really difficult to concentrate on their task. A lot of adults find it really difficult to finish a task. A lot of adults find it difficult to even do a task because sometimes they feel like, okay, this is what I want to do this morning. But immediately they pick the phone or immediately they enter that laptop, immediately they enter that bedroom, a whole lot of things are playing on their head. So someone had once defined ADHD as doing what you ought not to do when you wanted to do something else. So this was this person's definition of ADHD. Doing exactly the opposite of what you want to do or something like that. But this, as I'm telling you today, is that a whole lot of children, a whole lot of adolescents, a whole lot of adults actually have ADHD and they are not aware of it. So this morning, whether you think you have ADHD, whether you know you have ADHD, whether you suspect you have ADHD, or you have autism, or even you have sensory processing disorder. Yeah, a lot of people are not, they don't have ADHD, they don't have autism. They have sensory issues. Sensory issues can be in form of, there are people that cannot wear clothes that the label is on. There are people that cannot wear certain texture of clothes. And there are people that cannot wear certain material of clothes. There are also people that cannot listen to certain type of noise. So that is noise sensitivity. There are also people that, they hear sounds that is not very obvious to the, normal ears. Yeah. And then there are people that, have this extraordinary perception of touch. So at the end of the day, we know that among this population, almost everyone is somehow neurodivergent. So if you're listening now, let's go through some of these things that, that are beneficial for the neurodivergent in terms of the nutrition. So I would like to, start with a very obvious and common one, which is omega-3 fatty acid. Omega-3 fatty acid, a lot of times when I draw meal plan for families, I put omega-3 fatty acid as what a child should be taking. And then the families are like, when is it starting? And I'm like, this is a lifetime thing. Yes, omega-3 fatty acid is something you ought to be constantly supplying to your body. However, you must not be supplying it through supplements. A neurodivergent child requires omega-3 fatty acid like on a daily basis. Why? Because the 60% of our brain, not just their own, everyone's brain, 60% of our brain is made up of fat. And what other healthier way to get that fat running than through omega-3 fatty acid? Yes, there are omega-6, there's omega-9, all of these are important, but there's this particular one, omega-3 fatty acid, that is most, relevant for learning, for calmness, for controlling hyperactivity. And if you do not supply your brain with this, it's known that a whole lot of neurodivergent children are not having enough omega-3. This omega-3, for instance, has two forms. There is EPA, there is DHA. EPA and DHA, they perform different functions. And for these people's if you have a child on the autism spectrum, if you yourself or someone you are supporting is having autism or ADHD, omega-3 fatty acid is not negotiable. Now, that having said, we are not promoting supplements. Supplements give a false sense of hope. It gives you that impression that, yeah, everything is fine. Also, a lot of times they are not in the right, form that the body utilizes immediately. So, and then there is also the issue of preservative or stabilizer or just stuff that will just be added to it. So this morning, each of the nutrients we talk about, we are going to look at how can you get it from your food? How do you derive it from the food that you eat? So omega-3 fatty acid is something like we get from fish. The best fish for omega-3 fatty acid is salmon. Salmon, we know, is not very cheap, but there is mackerel. We call it Titus in Nigeria. The one that has like wave-like thing on his skin. If somebody is here that's from Nigeria, do you know like the other name of Titus? So we call it Titus anyway. But salmon is something that gives us this good level of omega-3. And there's also nuts. We call, especially the walnuts. The walnuts, if you're in Nigeria, I would always make reference to because a whole lot of my viewers are from there. I'm from there anyway. So you see the black nuts they sell on traffic that you have to break in order to access the nut. Yes, walnuts. Walnuts are plant sources of omega-3 fatty acid. So you can always get these nutrients from your walnut, from your fish, or flax seeds. Flax seeds are not local to us, but you can get it from shops. And yeah, even if you go to somewhere like My 12, if you're in Lagos, you should be able to get flax seed. So flax seed, walnuts, salmon, all these are sources where you can actually get your omega-3 without having to use supplements. If you or someone you know is actually battling with any mental health challenge, omega-3 fatty acid is non-negotiable. You have to have it in your stock. You also have to, make conscious efforts to have it in your food in form of salmon, in form of walnuts, and in form of flaxseed. So the next nutrient we are discussing is magnesium. A lot of people don't have enough magnesium in their body, and in holistic support we have found so many ways of painlessly incorporating magnesium into your life, because magnesium has more than, I think it's up to 180 something. I'm not sure of these statistics, but magnesium has a whole lot of functions in your body. And there are different types of magnesium for different types of, need. So at this point, we are not just talking about the mental health. You can also talk about muscle. You can also talk about mental. You can also talk about sleep. So for people with ADHD, autism, neurodivergent generally, sleep can be an issue. Sleep can be a big challenge. Sleep for these people is not luxury. Sleep is a big challenge. So how do you support these children with sleep? How do you support them with hyperactivity? Because a whole lot of them are actually hyperactive. So magnesium comes to mind. Magnesium can be taken as supplement. Magnesium can be used as a bath. Magnesium can be used as a spray. Magnesium can be obtained from food. My favorite is magnesium bath. You use what we call Epsom salt to do this magnesium bath. Why do I prefer magnesium bath? Magnesium bath has like various functions. It is detoxifying and it is replenishing. How does it do that? Epsom salt is called magnesium sulfate. That is the chemical name for Epsom salt. So Epsom salt has magnesium sulfate. If you put it in water and you sit inside that water, what happens is that the Epsom salt is vasodilatory, meaning that it opens up the pores of the skin. So when it opens up the pores of the skin, the toxicants in your body will come out and go into the water. Yes, it's either you're sitting in it or you can soak just your legs inside it. So the toxicants in your system will now come out and get into the water, and the magnesium and the sulfate will get inside your body. So in this process, you are achieving two things. You are supplying magnesium and you are detoxifying. Another beautiful thing about Epsom salt bath is that it also detoxifies heavy metal. Heavy metal is one of those things that, takes a while, takes a whole lot. Sometimes another chemical called chelators, sometimes sauna bath, sometimes, you have to do a whole lot to pull metals out of your body. But with Epsom salt, you are doing this painlessly, effortlessly, while also supplying your body with magnesium. So the third one is zinc. Zinc is known as the social connector booster. With zinc, children on the spectrum get to, be a lot more focused, a lot more sociable. Yeah, how do I say it other than this? They become more sociable, more connected. Yes, we all know that children on the spectrum, sometimes they look aloof. They look like, if you look into these children, sometimes it's as if the essence of that person is not there. As if you are looking into a hollow thing, like you're just looking at their eyes, but they are not seeing you. Sometimes they're actually not seeing you because you just see the person doing this. They are not seeing you. So zinc is one of these nutrients that will help these children to be connected. It kind of gives them the connection. Why? This is because zinc supports dopamine production. Dopamine is the hormone that helps us to feel good. It's feel good hormone, motivation hormone. It's the kind of hormone that makes you want to, move on, wants to try. The hormone that wants to make you want to do things. So zinc helps the production of dopamine in these children. So how do you get your zinc? How do you get your zinc? I know a whole lot of people may not have access to things like cashew, but a whole lot of people who have access to things like chickpea. Chickpea is one good source of zinc. Cashew nuts is one good source of zinc. And then there is grass-fed beef. Grass-fed meat is like a very good source of... Hey, Dima, what's up? How are you? Good to see you again. Thank you. Yeah, you're seeing me. After so long, I traveled, so I haven't been around for a long while. So I am back. Thank you. How's my baby? You say she started school. Was it today she started school or Monday? Yeah, long time. Yeah, long time. I actually traveled, and you won't believe it that where I went to, there's no TikTok. There's no TikTok where I went to. They banned TikTok. Nobody can. Thank you. You cannot use TikTok in India. I went to India and you can't use TikTok there. I was so shocked. But yeah, life is good there. Without TikTok, they are still good. So good to see you, really. Beautiful to see you. So I was saying that zinc is one nutrient that children on the spectrum, children with cerebral palsy, any neurodivergent children, any neurodivergent child, adults or adolescents would want to have zinc in their diet. This will help them to be, more connected. This will help them to produce this dopamine, the enzyme that supports motivation, that supports, good mood. Good mood enzyme is your dopamine. So, and then I'll also look at iron. You know how ADHD or autism makes these children not to be able to focus on anything? I spoke about it from the beginning and say they are hardly able to complete a task. They are hardly able to finish what they started. They are hardly able to say, this is what I'm going to do today, and then I'm going to stick to it, and then I'm going to finish it. That is focus. So children on the autism spectrum or ADHD or other sensory sensitivities, they are not able to focus on tasks, and that's why iron is one of the food that they need in their diet. Iron is called the focus enhancer. It helps them to get, focus on their task and finish. you won't believe it that I have done several tests on children on the autism spectrum, and what we have realized that a whole lot of them have low iron value. The iron in their system is so low. But here is a note of warning. Iron is not... Anyway, let me finish explaining why it is important. It is important because it is the part of the red blood cell that allows the uptake of oxygen. So oxygen is needed for all the cells to function better. So when there is low iron, your cells are deprived of oxygen. Yes, when there is low iron, your cells will not have enough oxygen to function. So in children with autism, children with attention deficit hyperactivity disorder, children with sensitive sensory sensitivities, adults, children, adolescents, these people need this iron to be able to transport oxygen into the cells of the body. They require iron to be able to transport oxygen to the different parts of the body into the cells. Thank you, Dima. I appreciate this. So at the end of the day, iron, the note of warning I was going to give is that iron is not the kind of supplement you just go and buy and start giving someone, because it is one of the few supplements that you can suffer a bad effect on its toxicity. So people can have iron toxicity at very high doses of iron. So as much as it is good, it's not the kind of supplement you just go and pick and start eating anyhow. No, please, apart from the one you are eating from food, don't just go and buy iron supplement and start supplementing by yourself. But there is hope anyway. One good way you can have iron in your diet is also by cooking with cast iron pots. Yeah, they are very, very rare these days, very uncommon. They used to be very common because of these pots that artisans used to make, but these days they no longer do it with iron, they now do it with aluminium. So I won't even advise anybody to go buy them now, because they are no longer iron, they are now done with aluminium, and aluminium is a very bad heavy metal when it gets into our body. So the only option is, if you know you have low iron, you can actually just consult with your nutritionist, your dietitian, or your doctor, who can order your test and give you supplements that will support your iron level. Women are more prone to this because of our monthly cycle, So there is also the vitamin D. Vitamin D is, we call it mood stabilizer. Mood stabilizer. Do you know that where winters, people that have winter, almost everyone have winter. In Africa, we do have Harmattan season. So during these seasons, during these extreme cold seasons, no, even in our Harmattan we have sun. What happens in winter is that it's cold, but there's no sun. So in these seasons when there is no sun, everyone tends to be grumpy, everyone tends to be gloomy. It's not their choice, it's the weather. Sorry, I need to take my water. It's not by choice that people are gloomy during winter. No, it's vitamin D. The vitamin D levels are low, and so are people's mood. I need to find something to clean this. So vitamin D levels are low during winter, and so are people's mood. So when the vitamin D level is low, moods are low. So that's why we call vitamin D the mood stabilizer. So if your child is moody, is cranky, is always sad, you may want to increase the vitamin D level. This is one of the vitamins that does a whole lot, but unfortunately a lot of people are deficient. If you think that because you are in Africa you can't be deficient, that's not true, because our melanin, or the color of our skin, makes it a bit more difficult for us to absorb it. So if you are in Africa and you are black, you are still very, very much likely to be deficient. So but now if you're in Europe and you are even black, you should make endeavor to increase your D level, either by supplementation, mostly supplementation and sunshine. Please, it's one of those supplements that shouldn't be lacking in your home. Now, the good B vitamins. The B vitamins is the energy and memory boosters. B vitamins will boost your energy and it will boost your memory. We talk about B complex a lot. When we were younger, mothers automatically just start giving their children B vitamins from birth, and that was a good thing because the B vitamin supports the brain function a lot, a whole lot, brain function. So most times, even in a child and adolescent mental health clinic, they start by just giving you B vitamins. You will think they may not know what they are doing, but that is like setting you off for a good, mental health for these children. So if you or someone you are supporting has mental health challenge, you may want to start by or offering them B vitamins. The other one is probiotics. Probiotics is just like a precursor or a supporter of B vitamins, because probiotics in the gut helps the body to process B vitamins. So if you have enough probiotics, you probably will get enough B vitamins. And if you have enough B vitamins, that doesn't guarantee that you get probiotics. So if you're not getting B vitamin, you can use probiotics to get probiotics and B vitamins. So I would rather always recommend probiotics. Probiotics, apart from B vitamins, they do a whole lot. How do you get probiotics? You can get your probiotics. Most people get probiotics from yogurt. But here's the thing. If you're getting your probiotics from yogurt, please make sure that yogurt is not pasteurized. Lots of yogurts are pasteurized, and the sad thing is that once a yogurt is pasteurized, it's no longer yogurt, it's just a fermented milk, because the microorganisms that make it yogurt is no longer there. After pasteurization, no more microorganisms. So you are just drinking a fermented milk. So from today now, you're going to ask yourself, have I been drinking fermented milk or have I been taking yogurt? Yogurt is your sure thing to probiotics. But for most neurodivergent people I cater for, we don't encourage you having dairy. So if you are on a gluten-free, casein-free diet, please don't do yogurt. Yogurt is made with milk. So if you're on a casein-free diet, it's better you do things like sauerkraut. Sauerkraut simply means soaking your vegetable to ferment, and then you eat it. You eat the liquid. Sorry, I had to drink. London. Okay. So L-theanine is one. Read Levi, good to see you. L-theanine is one nutrient which is a very natural relaxant. It helps the body to just relax. ADHD, autism, sensory sensitivities, neurodivergent, they find it difficult to relax. They find it really, really difficult. They are always on the move. So L-theanine is one of those nutrients that will support these children to at least calm down. It might be rude sometimes to tell someone to calm down, but yeah, these children really would benefit a lot from calming down. So our last but very important nutrient is protein. Protein is one of those nutrients that children on the spectrum, children with ADHD, children that have sensitivities will have to do with. I have watched children snap from here to there in a snap of a finger. When there is a sugar crash, when there is, a sugar crash in their body, they get hyperactive, they get lethargic, they get, sorry to be always calling my daughter, but any day we are in a rush and she doesn't have enough food in the morning, just know that child is going to be, that day is going to be hectic. Yes, that sugar crash can actually make them go into hyperactivity or a meltdown or a form of lethargy. So do not allow that to happen by supplying your child with lots of protein every time. However, I have seen one or two children that protein is not their thing. From their organic acid test, they are not going to be able to manage protein. So for these children, we realize that there has to be some way to maintain their sugar level. And to do that, you have to use things like constant supply of carbohydrates, food. Constant, when I say constant supply, is that you will not allow the child to go for up to 3 hours without giving him something to chew. This type of children, even when they go to bed, you have to keep something by their table side to help them to eat when they just open their eyes. So we have gone through these 10 nutrients that will support neurodivergent children, that will support children with autism. Like we said, their food is not from the moon, but there are things that help them to feel better. So we said protein will help to prevent the sugar crush, which can cause hyperactivity. We said that magnesium will help them to detoxify and be calmer. We say that B vitamins will help them in their memory. We say that choline, which is also a memory builder. We say that L-theanine will help them to relax. L-theanine is a natural relaxant. Thank you so much, Moms Ahmad. Okay, you're here. Thank you so much for sharing the live. I appreciate it. Thank you. So we say that B vitamins help these children to, for memory. Meanwhile, probiotics is very good for them because probiotics also helps them to produce the B vitamins, and then it helps to restore their guts. This is where I specialize in, and I will just pass it without talking about it. Gut health is very important in children with autism. In fact, in everybody. Ask me, because your gut is like your second brain. The people that said angry man is a hungry man is an angry man. They were not just blabbing. They were not just saying. It's as true as it is scientific. So when your guts are not in a good state, your brain will not be in a good state. There is this analogy that says gut-brain axis. Gut-brain axis means that whatever happens in your gut is affecting your brain. That is why when you are hungry, you are angry. You are either angry or you're lethargic or you are not focusing well. Sometimes if you are so hungry, you are looking at your laptop, you're not seeing anything there. So please, if you are supporting or you are anyone who is neurodivergent, do not joke with the guts. Do not joke with your guts. And what are the things about your guts? We got here by talking about probiotics. Normally, when I support people with neurodivergent conditions, I start by restoring the guts. How do you restore the guts? Probiotics. Ensure plus drink. Well, most times the Ensure plus drink, I'm not very familiar with it. I know that people drink it to increase their nutritional composition, but I have to study it to know if it's something I can recommend or not. I won't just stand here and be saying how good it is or how bad it is because I haven't looked at it thoroughly. I promise you, when I come live tomorrow, I would have to give you a feedback on this. If you come, if you are live with me, I would have to give you a feedback on it. Thank you for your question, actually. Thank you. So, talking about the guts, I don't know, you were not here when I was talking about yogurt. A lot of people also use yogurt trying to restore their children's gut. Like I said, yogurt, if you are on the autism spectrum, ADHD, you're neurodivergent, I usually do not recommend that you should be on a dairy diet. I don't support that you should be having dairy. But a lot of people do not take into consideration that yogurt is made from milk. So if you want to be using yogurt as your source of probiotic, just bear in mind that yogurt is made from milk. Hello, Johnny with cerebral palsy. Good morning. How are you today? Thank you for coming. So if you are of the opinion that you are drinking yogurt and you are not having dairy, please, I know why I'm stressing, because a lot of people think they are on dairy-free diet. Meanwhile, they still give their children yogurt. That is like so far away from it. Now, even if you're using yogurt, even if you happen to be taking yogurt, make sure that it is not a pasteurized yogurt. Many yogurts on the shelf are actually pasteurized. Pasteurization is done to increase their shelf life. So if you are taking a pasteurized yogurt, you are not taking probiotic. Yes, if you are taking a pasteurized yogurt, you are simply just drinking fermented milk. Thank you, Johnny with cerebral palsy. I appreciate it. If you are taking just pasteurized yogurt, there is no probiotic in it. But here is something you can do, not just to ensure that you are getting probiotic, but you are not going to be taking milk in it. Sauerkraut. Sauerkraut is like my favorite probiotic. How do you do sauerkraut? It's a very simple homemade probiotic. You do sauerkraut by just cutting up your cabbage or carrot or anything that is vegetable. But why I prefer to use cabbage and why a lot of people prefer to use cabbage is because cabbage has a lot of, the structure of cabbage is such that it harbors a lot of microbes, healthy microbes from the farm actually. So because they are covered, they are layers and layers. So inside those layers, you are supposed to be having a lot of microbes. So by the time you squash it, thank you so much, Johnny with cerebral palsy. By the time you squash it, you will be having all those microorganisms released, and you are also releasing the sugar from the cabbage. So the microorganism is going to live on the sugar, eat on them, feed on them, and proliferate on them, as in give birth. So by giving birth inside the water, inside the liquid that came from the product, they now fill up everywhere. So by the time you take 1 spoon of that liquid that comes from that cabbage, of course you will put it aside for like a week or 2 weeks so that it can ferment, all those microorganisms to bear children and grow. So by the time you take 1 spoon after 1 week of this liquid, you are sure of very live microorganisms that are live and surviving, and you'll be getting them in billions of coliform forming units. Coliform forming units means like microorganisms, you can't see them with your bare eyes, but by the time they come together and make a unit, you should be able to see them. So if you are doing this, you are helping your gut with very rich and viable microorganisms. So it's been how long have I stayed here? It's been a while. I spoke about the different nutrients that can help neurodivergent children, cerebral palsy, attention deficit hyperactivity disorder, that is ADHD, autism, sensory sensitivity. I looked at 10 different types of nutrients and how you can get them. Thank you, Johnny with cerebral palsy. Thank you very much. I appreciate. So I looked at different nutrients that help these children. We looked at omega-3. Omega-3 is non-negotiable because 60% of your brain and even the brain is made up of fat. It's made up of fatty acid. We also looked at magnesium. Magnesium helps them to calm down. We looked at zinc. Zinc helps them to connect with the environment. Iron helps them to focus. If you have a child that cannot focus on one assignment and finish it, iron is your go-to. But don't overdo iron, you can get iron toxicity. Then vitamin D is what stabilizes the mood. Just like when it is winter, everybody's cranky. That is how these children can be cranky when they have low vitamin D. There is choline. Choline, you can find choline in eggs. I forgot to mention that egg is your go-to. In fact, some parents can swear that by using choline, like giving their children up to 2 to 3 eggs every day for a month or for a year, that they were able to recover their children. Crazy things are out there. Children are different. But this is just to show you how important choline can be for these children. But yeah, it is a memory builder. It helps the children to have better memory, and we all know it also helps in physical, outlook. And there's also the probiotics. Probiotics helps to maintain that gut-brain axis connection healthy, because whatever is happening in your gut is happening in your brain. The gut and the brain is connected by a nerve known as vagus nerve. So your gut has a direct impact on your brain. And then L-theanine helps the child to relax, pay attention, listen in class, and all of that. And then we also talked about protein. Yeah, it's been, I think it's up to an hour already. And then these are the nutrients I felt I should let you know that they can actually support your child, your word, who is neurodivergent, to build a better life and be the best they can be. Number above all is love, understanding, care, tender loving care. Like I said in the beginning, they feel everything that anybody feels. Don't think that because they can't express it, they don't feel it. So give them that love and see both of you healing. The healing has to start from you, the carer, especially the mother, because they draw strength from you. So whatever strength you exude, whatever strength you give out is what they will collect. If you are always frustrated, your child will always be frustrated. If you try to put up a thankful face, a happy face, you will see your child blooming. I always tell parents, their healing starts from us. When we are consciously healing ourselves, accepting that this thing has happened, accepting that something has happened does not mean to stop looking for solution. No. It's when you accept that it has happened, then you will open your eye like Sabinus and be looking for a solution. But when you continue refusing that it has happened, how do you look for solution for something you don't agree that it is there? And then time keeps going. So your acceptance that it has happened is the first step to healing. Because when you have accepted that it has happened, that's even when you can talk to people about it. And it's even when you talk to people about it, you never can tell who has the solution. So yeah, that is it. Neurodivergent children are not a burden. They are very much aware. They are very much, emotional. They feel what you feel. They know what you know. It's just that they don't know how to express it. So with these nutrients we have talked about, support your child, let them be the best they can be. You as a mother, you as a carer, support yourself too. What is good for geese is good for gander. Whatever support you think you can also get, please get it. It is only when you are alive that you can help someone else. Get your life together, put yourself together, face it like the warrior you are. Look it in the face and tell it, na me and you, I no go gree for anybody. Like they told us in the beginning of the year, no gree for anybody for this 2025. Make a kukuma no gree for waiting to collect your child. If you and your child are struggling, no gree for anybody. If they tie you down, find something doing at home. I know how difficult it is to have a child on the spectrum, a cerebral palsy child, a neurodivergent child, and you still need to make ends meet. Making ends meet is like a basic need of life. These our challenges is just addition. They are just addition. It doesn't exempt you from the things you still need to do as a parent, as a mother. You still need to provide money. You still need to provide food. You still need to attend to community engagement. You still need to attend to family engagement. Nobody even gives you the excuse. So at the end of the day, the fact that you have a special need child, you still need to get money. Even the special need child is still zapping your money like razor blade. So please, if you want to do something extra that will still give you that opportunity to be with your child, I encourage you, you can reach out to me and I will put you in the right direction. Thank you. Thank you everyone for coming on board. Big Boy 420. I've been on for a while. We discussed about nutrients that help children, adolescents with neurodivergent children. See you tomorrow. Thank you.